And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided you that. That's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. On June 25th, the LER analyst pulls the entirety of the whisper messages and begins discussing them with his director of the LER team. Mind you, this director...
It is a question of why would Twitch ban him, though?
Unbelievable!
Do you believe him? You should say the Cody dude.
If YouTube did delete Lauren, why would they not delete everyone else there? Right?
Because Lauren is directly implicated. There are definitely offers from RT and RT subsidiaries that are made to a lot of right-wing content creators that a lot of people in the right-wing scene know. Do you think anything crazy is going to come out of this?
All parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, again, I respected all the confidential obligations.
Just as a heads up, as one of the only people that actually reads through most of the contracts that he signs, which is why I don't get contract oftentimes contracts will have a clause in them. I don't know what the name of this clause is. I'm pretty sure it's boilerplate because I've seen it, boilerplate because I've seen them in multiple contracts I've signed. But it'll say something to the effect of, just because one part of this contract is broken doesn't mean that the rest of the contract is null and void. Now, I don't know if that applies to the NDA or whatever legal agreements that he signed, but just something to keep in mind if you're ever in a position where you're signing contracts. Just because one party breaks some clause or some part of the contract doesn't mean that it's all like garbage. You could just say whatever. But again, that's a general statement based on my personal experiences that might not apply to whatever he's talking about. I don't know who the knows. Also, remember, things like NDA, well... Never mind, actually. I was going to say, for people in my position, things like NDAs and this shit, they don't really matter that much because chances are whatever you're NDAing, there's going to be way more negative public fallout or damage than what the NDA would ever protect you from. Like when you start dealing with like famous people, you start dealing with like big companies and shit, like you can try to NDA somebody, but like if they leak some shit that's going to destroy your company and you're going to lose like 7-8 figures worth of value, you're probably never getting that money back in any type of like civil court setting or third party arbitration. Like you're just fucked. So always keep that in mind too. Contracts are, what's the guy in, what's the name of the captain of the Black Pearl before Jack gets it back? The Pirates Code, they're more like guidelines. Contracts are kind of sort of like that sometimes.
But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, again, I respected all the confidential obligations.
My assumption would be that mail-in ballots are slightly less secure than... That would just be based on like a priori, like my prior assumptions would just say that, but I haven't like looked into it at all.
But apparently Twitch's own disgruntled employees didn't feel the need to abide by those same obligations. Cody Connors, ex-Twitch employee, wasn't even involved, leaks Twitch's reported reason. Years later, Cody, why do this? What was the point? This was settled professionally. And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided you rat to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. I mean, for what? Cody, why? Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know.
So like, this would be the thing that, and nobody cares or knows or whatever, any of this. This is, okay, so here's the game that I'm playing. Oh, I can't tell. Never mind. My brain. When people like Benny Johnson and people like Martin Shkreli and people like, who else? I think there's a third person I did this to. People will say things like, if I hear people talking shit about me, I'm going to sue them, or I'll sue you, or I'll sue you, right? Anytime I see somebody say that, if I know they're full of shit, I'll tweet at them, and I'll say, hey, sue me, let's do it. If you want to do that, yeah, like Benny Johnson, I know Martin Shkreli did this. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I think he did steal his shit. Sue me if you want. When people are saying shit like this, oh, I'm going to start suing people, you must be very confident in your opinion. In that case, okay, well, let's see it. Let's do it. Let's go to court, and you can show me. If DrDisrespect is being honest here, and if everything Cody is saying is a lie, I feel like this would qualify for some type of civil litigation. But then the question would be, well, is DrDisrespect suing him? And if not, why not? That would be my question, right? When he's making all of this so public. If you think that he's like clearly defaming you, or he's clearly lying about a thing, what is the response to conservatives arguing that Trump's property fraud is just common business practice and he's being targeted for political reasons? The reason why Republicans are able to think that that's part of the propaganda model of saying everything is fucked. The nice thing about saying the entire system is fucked and destroyed is that anytime somebody on your side gets caught with anything, you can say, oh, well, look, everyone's doing it. It's just not true. If it was true, then our country would be like collapsing. Like, yeah. Cody is too poor to pay out, probably. Who cares? You win the case publicly. It looks good for you. No? That you were able to secure a settlement, or you, at the very least, you could get him to retract his statements, right? Especially if he's too poor, no?
Oh shit, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from professionally.
I can't believe you had me roped into this stupid shit. Now we have to listen to it carefully. Now I'm curious what he's going to say.
And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you fucking rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. I mean, for what? Cody? Why?
Why would you spend 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars? We can just get the same W by just dunking on him on a stream for which hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2 years? How long would this take? That hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2 years is assuming that you're going like the full 9 yards, all your pretrial shit, you're going to trial, you're going to try in front of a judge, you're doing, that'd be like, there's no shot. It'd be less than 50K would be my guess. And that's like with a hefty amount of like writing and research and everything else before going to court. There's no way a thing like this would actually go to court if one of them is clearly in the fucking wrong, right?
Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not?
Is that his real hair or is it a wig? My understanding is initially he wore a wig, but I think eventually he just grew his hair out to be like this.
Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any first-hand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages. Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch's Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone.
Like when you're playing on the definitions here like this, so it sounds like they were probably having a sexually explicit conversation, but they weren't actually engaged in like cyber sexing. We used to call it cybering when I grew up, but that's all I'm hearing there. But okay.
You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
Meaning that she was probably 16 or 17 is what that probably means.
You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban.
Notice that he's saying she was over the age of consent, but he's not saying that she was an adult, and he's not saying that she wasn't a minor. He's just saying she was over the legal age of consent.
Consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages? You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban. You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. Your bullshit accusations gave false courage to other former Twitch employees to make shit up as well.
Okay, we'll see what he says by the end of this. He's never, ever, ever suing any of the people involved because the actual truth is probably fairly close-ish to what the guy said, but it's not that she was probably 17. They were probably having sexually explicit dialogue, and they probably kind of like joked about or talked about meeting up, but there was never like a specific time or place involved, and that's like the story that he's going with. That's my guess, but there's no way that those hazy details would be enough to nail the other dude, would be my guess. Who is the goat he's talking about? Cody, is it Cody Connors? Or am I making that name up?
I suspect all of you sort of planned and coordinated this attack. These big-time publications...
Or is it Cody Evoli? I don't know what's coming to my mind. Eoli? What's the name of that mayo shit? It's like mayonnaise but fancy, so I'll eat it. Aioli, right? A-I-O-L, whatever the fuck. Yeah.
These journalists, these various outlets, are sort of just gossip channels now, don't you think, champs? They act like they're just gossip channels now, without any real journalism and real research happening. They reported on all this based on leaks from 2 former Twitch employees, one of whom was supposedly on the trust and safety team.
Were you ever connected to DrDisrespect at all? No, we should have killed him one time in a battle royale, but RNA or Mr. Moon or somebody else fucked up. Whoever fucked up, it definitely wasn't me.
If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth. But apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had firsthand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, 1, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And 2, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM.
So they were probably just sexually explicit messages, inappropriate sexually explicit messages with a 16 or 17-year-old, but it didn't rise to the level of sexting, however they're defining that, and the girl wasn't beneath the age of 16 and there were no pictures exchanged or exact places to meet up decided, we might guess.
I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images.
Yeah.
Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. I mean, how would each of you look if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words? And this is not a situation where a victim publicly accuses someone of wrongdoing. That never happened here. We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were legal! You see, I engage with my community. I engage with other streamers. And through Twitch Whispers, I communicate with Twitch users. Conversations that consisted of a variety of playing games and gaming politics, content creation, random stuff. This was the extent of my whispers with this Twitch user. On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged whispers with the Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because for years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years. I'm talking no front page love. You're talking about the face of the platform, right? Literally.
It is a question of why would Twitch ban him, though? Man, why would Twitch ban him? They must have been pretty inappropriate messages, would be my guess. But, geez.
Face of the platform. And I know Champions Club remembers this. We got zero front page love on the website. He was never on my channel. He didn't follow me on Twitter. He wouldn't even inform us about...
I think this is live or pre-recorded. Probably live. It could be pre-recorded, though. I'm sure he's got a script or something in front of him.
Twitch rival tournaments. We're talking about the two-time. Twitch rival tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you want to play in it? We got zero support from this guy. And it was just so obvious that he carried a grudge against the two-time.
He didn't take your advice of coming back as DrDisrespect. He went Goblin on his own. I mean, he'll just go back to gaming after this, right?
So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. And just a few months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence?
When Slasher said that the DMs can't be leaked because they are child sexual assault material, isn't he directly refuting that? I think that was a guess from Slasher. My understanding, based on my conversation with Slasher like 4 years ago, is he never saw the exact DMs. I don't know if that's changed recently or not. I don't know if he said anything differently recently or not. But I don't believe Slasher's ever seen those DMs, or at least he hadn't when this was a long time ago. He, at least at that point, but...
The Twitch user tells the ex-Twitch...
But I don't think he claimed to have seen those DMs. He's just saying that, like, if it was like this, it wouldn't leak because you wouldn't just repost it online, right?
Partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch.
But is going full-on right-wing pandering a viable strategy for him? No, I don't think he's going to do that. Or Dan thinks he's going to do that. I just don't think politics is just such a weird switch for him. He's going to lose his whole audience. He's just probably going to keep gaming, would be my guess.
The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager...
He said he never saw the DMs the last time you and Dan talked to him. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch...
If there isn't anything bad, why wouldn't the doc just release them? Because there probably is some stuff that's kind of bad. And even if there wasn't anything bad, why the fuck would he release them? There are some people that said that I was a because I said there were hot 15 and 16-year-olds that try to fuck you at gaming conferences when I was like 22 or something. Like, people are like... Ugh. So, I mean, like, it's not, yeah, why the fuck would you even release shit like this?
User tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged. On June 24th, 2020, Twitch's special operations team receives and reviews the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team.
Do you think if he took your advice of shutting the up and keep streaming, he'd be okay in a couple of weeks? He'll probably be fine. I'm sure he'll be okay. Yeah.
Enforcement response team. That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. Yeah, he had it out for the 2 time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is technically new shit. Hold on.
Views the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team.
Okay.
That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. Yeah, he had it out for the 2 time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team. So a day later, on June 25th, the LER analyst pulls the entirety of the Whisper messages and begins discussing them with his director of the LER team. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind.
Okay, wait. Dustin, you were banned for a pretty stupid reason. Maybe the doc is in a similar position. This is completely and totally different. My content, because I do political stuff, is always going to be way more on the edge. And I'm going to always be somewhat of a liability to any platform that hosts me. The doc was pretty much just a straight asset to Twitch. I think the doc was on a huge upswing. He was very popular and one of the most popular types of gaming content. Like Twitch had really good reason to keep the doctor on. Twitch, I'm always like a risky, what's an expression for something? Box of dynamite? That's not a real thing. No, not liability. What's like a brand risk? A hot potato. Let's go with that. I was always a hot potato. Anything could happen, you know? But the doc was pretty brand safe. So to cut him was like pretty crazy, I think.
Director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind you, I went through a big-time arbitration, okay? And, you discover a lot of stuff. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time. The LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the Whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't. Within less than 1 hour, this LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. Twitch submits a report to NCMEC. You guys all read those little articles, huh? The NCMEC. Twitch submits that report. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. As far as I know, they didn't escalate Twitch's report to law enforcement. Mind you, the same people that made this decision admit internally that the messages did not constitute sexting. The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge.
So I could be wrong because I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know his audience. I don't know the community that he plays to. So my assumption of how he should handle this could be off. Maybe he is doing the best thing. But I feel like there are enough facts in his favor that he could release like a type of statement that would be really positive. Like if he owns up to I had conversation with somebody, they were a younger fan, they got a little inappropriate given the age, shouldn't have made some of the jokes I did, absolutely not okay. Absolutely not okay. I haven't done it since. We'll never do it again. However, there was no, and then he can go into the this was escalated to all these people before there was no child sexual abuse material, there was no investigations, or there was an investigation or whatever, there was no wrongdoing found. Twitch decided there was no wrongdoing. Like he could have gone here, but he fights so hard against literally any wrongdoing whatsoever. And then he's very precisely, cutting exactly into he said that she was a minor, but actually she was of the legal sexual age of consent. It's like, why not just own up and say, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done this, I won't do it again, rather than splitting hairs so much on this. But I don't know, maybe for his audience, maybe it's important to not Yeah.
Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted.
Will Twitch make a statement after this? I don't think Twitch has any reason to make a statement after this. I would be surprised if they did.
They did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract.
Like, god damn, those statements. Or maybe I'm just too internet brained. Maybe to normal people. Maybe actually that could be it too. I might be very like internet coded and very libertarian coded, where I hear as soon as I hear somebody start like rambling on about like the age of consent, my brain is like, what's going on here? Maybe ordinary people don't care or think about it as much, but like the that wording is like so precise.
Messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's unbelievable! I'm not going to get into every detail regarding my legal case, but these former Twitch employees that claim to have firsthand knowledge, they just don't have a clue. They didn't report any facts. The judge in the case determined that the whispers were not illegal. So then why did Twitch use these messages against me? Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from...
So when he says the judge in the case, I think most of the... Usually when you sign contracts, I'm pretty sure this is in mind for Twitch, it's third part. It's usually you agree to arbitration. I think Twitch picks the company, but there's somebody that arbitrates this. You don't actually go to court for it. I think he's probably talking about either that an arbitration judge that isn't like part of the court system, or he's just talking about whoever at Twitch overviewed it and said that there was nothing improper. However, you don't need a legal violation to ban somebody from your platform. Now, is it a morality clause that you would have in a contract that makes it so that if you do things that are harmful to the reputation of Twitch, they could terminate your contract? Maybe. I think they're usually called morality clauses. I don't have a sponsor or anything. I haven't filled out contracts in quite a while. It's a contract provision that limits the behavior of a party or individual to the contract. They can be found in many different types of contracts, including employment agreements, custody orders, and endorsement contract. Do you have your old contract? Yeah, it's sitting in my inbox somewhere. So Twitch could still terminate his contract even if he didn't do anything illegal, but they are violating. My guess is the contract had terms, like a term length. So they probably, my guess is they paid him out. That'd be my guess, but
There are other streamers. I mean, outside of the obvious. I mean, just take a look at me. Unfiltered.
The doc was a total brand risk? For what?
What's up?
The realest mother...
Hi, what's up?
I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. One, when I'm hearing the doc talk, this seems to imply that it's probably in another country, which is why he's harping on the age of consent thing. And then the second thing...
Wait, why do we think that? It could very easily just be like in a state where the age of consent is 16, no?
It could be, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But if the judge is determining nothing is illegal and something like that, it seems to seem like that it's probably a national thing. And when he goes to say they didn't even look at the age of jurisdiction or the age of consent in a given jurisdiction, that seems to suggest, at least to me personally, that it's probably he was talking to somebody from another country.
I think it still very easily be a state.
Assume,
also, when he says judge, I don't think he's necessarily meaning like a trial judge or something. Like it could just be whoever.
Arbitration judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in arbitration, generally speaking, there is an actual judge that rules on things and will rule on motions and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Most notably, arbitration judges tend to be retired judges. So it's like one avenue when you're actually a professional judge to then retire and become a arbitration judge.
Sure.
And they come from all over. And as far as the morality clauses, yes, they're actually still enforced and still quite common. Like if you're a Disney person, you're probably under a morality contract if you're like on a big movie or something like that.
My guess is going to be for almost anything involving large entertainment, you're absolutely going to have morality clauses. Yeah, in your, of course, yeah.
If you're on like a child's television show, there's going to be absolutely a morality
My guess
clause,
is literally on every television show, you'll have morality clauses. People get dropped from movies and shit from.
Yep. But I'm saying particularly like a guaranteed one would be like a child's television show, because you wouldn't want like the dad of the family to be like, oh, this guy was like banging hookers and had a pound of blow in his back seat sort of deal. Like that would look bad for the show.
Yep.
Obviously.
Okay.
It's all I wanted to clear up. I'll let you have Dan.
Have fun. Be careful.
All right.
I just got here.
Fucker in this
What did
industry.
the doc say?
It's just saying the same shit he said before, basically.
6'8", gorgeous, athletic, successful, college degree, college athlete, bourbon business, gaming studio, beautiful family. And trust me, we've worked hard for over a decade to improve as a person, a husband, and father, and to get where we're at today. I mean, I'm in such a good place today. And all these
Why do you think he decided to do this in character? Wouldn't it be more authentic if he did this as Guy Beam? Because he is his character now. I don't think he ever does anything out of character.
people, they all act like they're just so perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. Sometimes I do. But I also didn't do all the shit that they're saying I did. But then that doesn't make a story, right? They wanted media attention. The media wants controversy. And by sensationalizing all of this with big, inaccurate headlines like sexting and sexually explicit, you all got what you wanted at the expense of the due time. The reality is, they wanted to cut down the doc. Plain and simple. Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. Example number 1. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming, which constitutes a violation of Twitch's policies if accompanied by hateful intent. Twitch scheduled a meeting with the streamer to ascertain his intent to determine whether his conduct was a violation of Twitch's policies, ultimately determining it was not a breach of Twitch's policies. Why wasn't I called into a meeting? Why wasn't my intent taken into consideration, champs?
Why does he always blow up with a 2-time champ like Zerka with his 100K overnight spiel? Well, I mean, it's part of his character. It's part of the meme.
Example number 2. Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals and discussing philia, all while live streaming. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract. Example number 3.
Who is he? Is he naming names? Who's he talking about?
Who
Streamer
is
was reported
that?
for a sexually explicit stream involving children and telling children to send Snapchats of them playing with themselves. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract. It's so obvious that certain Twitch executives, employees involved had personal biases against the doc and used all of this as an opportunity to terminate my contract. Go back and look at the timing of all this too. The doc's termination lines up with 2 preferable, profitable, and expensive streamers leaving Mixer. As soon as Twitch knew that Mixer had failed, and go look at the timing. These other expensive streamers needed a new streaming platform. So Twitch rushed through its decision to terminate the 2-time. You see, I shouldn't even be banned from Twitch. It has affected us on so many levels. Back in 2020, and now in 2024. And Cody, Connors, I just have to say it again. Why would you do this? Like I said, this was handled professionally years ago. No wrongdoing. But because of you, Cody, we just lost... fuck, man.
Oh, he got demonetized on YouTube or something, right?
Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society. Right? Because of you, Cody.
We were first, by the way.
You know, through all this, we are where we are. And like a man, I'll accept it. But I don't accept to sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations, no. For all these doc haters out there too, oh man, the ones that project and worry about everyone else's problems, right? I can't understand that mindset. I could care less. We've always stayed in our lane. But somehow, some way, these people, they just get in our lane. For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll just dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do. I'll say this isn't for you. This was for my team, today, my community, my friends, La Familia, that have supported me. And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there, it looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch users thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize. All I know is that I never did what Twitch, Cody Connors, or the public is claiming that I did.
Is Twitch made these claims, or is he just using the employee as ex-employees as a stand-in? Yeah, I said at the very beginning that he can reapply for monetization at the end of September. Why? Why was he even... Did he say why he was demonetized? Did YouTube give a reason?
That's it. I'm not saying anything more about any of this, right? Unless I need to, because trust me, I have more I haven't disclosed. I just want to get back to what we do best. Put on a show and climb our way to the tippity top of the mountain, man. In our own lane.
Be in his own island.
Nice. Do you believe him? I think everything... everybody, actually, I've seen so many people do so many stupid things that now it's hard to believe in basic self-preservation. My assumption, if he has over 92 IQ... My assumption is that everything he said here is 100% true. He's speaking very specifically, so I think we can pretty easily figure out what happened. I doubt he would lie at this point when there are so many people that know exactly what's happened. I would imagine there's records of all of this shit, and it's a hugely public like ordeal. So my guess would be everything he's saying is pretty true. Yeah.
What has he said that you think? Because maybe I missed something. What has he said that's like, oh, interesting? He said that,
Nothing.
and that's
It's all the same as before. You just probably exchange inappropriate messages with a 16 or 17-year-old. Yeah.
That's it. People want show the message, release the messages, show the messages.
What would he gain from suing Cody Connor's 10K max? Well, you'd get a retraction. I think that would be the important thing, right?
People want show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade? So like I said, champs, during this, YouTube demonetized us. We have September 25th is when we can reapply.
That's not too bad. What was that? So 3 months?
that was not. I don't think that was the way to handle all this. It was a very wild shit. There's no way he sues anyone.
I don't know. I think he should sue the Cody dude, but
How would he possibly win that case?
well, if Cody hasn't seen any messages and Cody's making claims that are completely false, and he should know better, especially if he worked in those positions at Twitch, that's probably rises to the level of gross negligence or something, would be my guess.
It's actual malice, right? Isn't that the term?
Yep. But actual malice can also involve like grossly negligent behavior.
I mean, he's in a kind of a spot because I guess people take him very seriously. He says he works at Twitch. He says he did it. I still don't think Doc will do it. There's no shot he's ever going to do it because of Discovery. He obviously is f***ing paranoid as f*** about those messages coming out.
I don't know if he's paranoid as f- about them coming out. I feel like if he was paranoid as f- about them, then I don't think he would be addressing this at all. I don't know what he would have to fear for Discovery either. So I mean, it's like Twitch already has all the messages, right? But he could also be an idiot, so you know.
I'm leaning pretty heavily that way. I mean, remember how bad his responses were.
Yeah, they were, but it could have also been because he made them the day of, which people always do for some reason, and they're always stupid. I don't know why anybody ever responds to any serious thing the day of. You should always just wait a day or two before you write a response. There's literally no reason to publish it immediately, but
How many times has Doc cheated on his wife?
publicly or
As far as you know.
who knows? Why?
Oh no, I don't. Is it 2 times or 1 time?
I don't know. I haven't followed any of the doc shit for a long time.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll let you get back to Trump then.
Be careful.
So Nick, you called this meeting the meeting of the minds. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess I was just like interested with all the stuff that's been going on right now with the whole right-wing influence over content creators. I've been reading a lot of Jeremy's tweets, which are really funny. But I guess, how much do you think, in terms of like the content creators that were, I guess, funded, how many of them do you think like knowingly took that money, understanding, I guess, what they were getting into?
Tim Pool and Dave Rubin, 100%. Benny Johnson, maybe. I didn't see a figure for him, but he was included in the top 3. And then for the other 3, it's possible, but without knowing how much they were being compensated, it's hard to say.
You think it's interesting they hit Lauren first?
Lauren Chen?
Yeah.
No, because
She was the one that was like running the
company.
money between people. Yeah.
Oh.
Tenet,
Like she was like, it was like the Russians reached out to her and were like, here's some money.
Oh,
And
so
she's like,
she
oh, I know
has
these
to
other
know.
people. I'll get them in on it. Oh no, 1000% she knew. They have like they have really funny shit of her.
Yeah.
Destin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There was that thing where they were talking to her on multiple different accounts, and then at one point she was checking the time in like Moscow to make sure that
Yeah, she sent a
could, like,
message
talk to them
asking
at that
when an
point in time.
invoice was going to be paid. And then when the person didn't respond immediately, she Googled time in Moscow and saw it was like 4:50 a.m. And she's like, oh shit, okay, yeah. So
This feels like a South Park sketch,
a little
but
bit,
like it's
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Not only a South Park sketch, it just feels like just any movie. Like, why the idea that the Russian government is funding YouTubers, especially Lauren Chen, is she even that famous?
You know, somebody posted something yesterday, and I'm kicking myself for not realizing this. But I think that it might be incorrect to look at this as like a foreign influence campaign per se. Like they're trying to get certain messaging out there, which they were. And it might be more appropriate to just look at it as money laundering. Like, even though this got busted, they did what they wanted to do, which was pay a ton of money to Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. Like, those guys got paid out massively. Who knows where Dave Rubin would be? Like I said, I'm willing to bet that like 80% of his income, 90% of his income for the last year probably came from this company. I don't think that guy makes very much, just looking at his presence online. So if their goal was to like keep like anti-American stuff like that afloat, like they did it, that's really good. And they passed off a lot of money to Tim Pool as well. Benny Johnson is also anti-American scumbag traitors. I guess he got some money. Yeah. So I mean, like in that sense, their mission was successful. And because of how Russia works, there's a thing where people think that the goal of Russian propaganda in the U.S., there's still a popular thought. People think that the goal is to support like Donald Trump or support a candidate that helps Russia. It's not. The goal is to just cause chaos and to sow dissent and distrust inside the U.S. domestic political scene. So even them getting caught still technically helps Russia, because now everybody's going to be looking at Republican commentators like, oh shit, well now we super don't trust you, which is what Russia wants, is less trust at home, means less united front foreign policy wise, and then it just helps them. Yeah.
Right. But I think another question that I think a lot of people are going to have that is my biggest question is what was actually going on as far as the information that they were being told to like put out? Like, was Tim Pool being given like talking points, like you should say this, you should say this? How was this?
There's definitely going to be like an investigation on what they were covering and what months they were covering to see if people can correlate like talking points, right? I assume that's going to be, someone's going to do that in the next 2 weeks.
Was that in the indictment?
So in the indictment, the only thing that was listed was that the Tenet Media channel seemed to have to put out certain things, and that was communicated to some of the producers. But we don't know how much contact the producers had with the commenters in terms of what was being dictated to them for media agenda. And so far, I think Tim Pool and I think Dave Rubin have come out and said none of their content was dictated to them by any of the producers or by Lauren and her husband. So that's what they've said publicly, but we don't know. Yeah.
I could believe that they weren't given specific talking points. But what is confusing to me is why, because Tim says he's a victim, right? He's a victim of receiving, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
My biggest question is like, so let's say someone came to me, Turkey Tom channel, I get 1 million views on my videos, and they said like, here's $100,000 per video, right? Yeah. I would be very confused as to what the fuck is going on, because that's so much money. That's more money than I've ever been offered for any sponsorship ever, especially if they're not saying like give a specific talking point.
Yeah, right? This is the thing that
would be even more weird.
The thing that people,
I don't know what they want.
Yeah, the thing that's the most annoying to me is Tim can rely on this because nobody knows and people aren't in the industry. The weirdest thing about the contracts, the money part is really crazy. That is true. But like the weirdest thing is the fact that it's not tied to specific calls to action. It's not tied to specific plugging of like links or sponsors. Like nobody's ever seeing remotely close to a return on investment on any of that. Like that would make it even more crazy to be offered that much. And there's no specific ties to what you have to do. And again, if you're like in politics and it's a political company approaching you, you have to be asking like, how could you not know, right? Like that's insane.
I mean, not just if you're in politics, if you're in any like sphere of YouTube stuff and you're getting offered like, like the typical offer I'll get for a sponsorship for like a video that gets 1 million views is like, I would say like $20,000 or under that, right? If someone was offering me 5 times that and they didn't want me to say anything,
like stake.com, that's the only way. Yeah.
And even what is your...
But even with Stake, it's like the motivation is clear. They want you to promote their service. They're just willing to pay a lot more because they have a lot more money and, they just want their name out there. If they're not even saying like what they really want you to do, right?
Is that
I'd be
fee,
like, what
is
the
that
fuck?
for like a full like a minute interstitial or something, or how much, or a pre-roll and affiliate or below, or what is the...
For like a 1 minute spot, I would say, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the fact that, they were paying this much for no shout outs. No, also, for Tim Pool, it wasn't even exclusive. These were non-exclusive videos. So he could post them to his main channel, and he was posting to the main channel and this other channel. These videos are getting anywhere from like 500 views to like 10,000 views per video. Like all of these were underperforming like crazy. It's just insane.
One thing I did think about, and we're kind of going conspiracy mode here, but one thing I did think about was maybe the goal is to, so they license these people's content. They get a channel called Tenet going. They have all these recognizable commentators that everybody knows of, right? Everybody knows who these people are. And then what they can do is they can start slowly adding to the cast with their own like people that they would like from RT or something like that. And they can kind of slowly integrate these other people with, so like, let's say you watch Tim Pool, you watch Lauren Chen, you watch whoever the else, Benny Johnson, right? All these guys are the lineup. And then you throw one other guy in there who is like, oh, this is like our, the Russian viewpoint commentator. You throw him in there in the mix, and then you can slowly add to the repertoire and have like a greater brand. This is obviously, there's no proof that this is happening.
I
It's just
understand.
like
I understand the idea between that, but I think Russia likes to keep their people entirely separated so that it doesn't seem like that's the case at all. Like if you look at Tenet and you look at the talent, it's all like Americans and Canadians. That's it. If they started throwing Russian people onto the roster, it wouldn't look as legitimately domestic,
Right.
Like the goal is to just build out your domestic roster so that it looks organic and authentic and like it's coming from within the country.
Right. Yeah.
I was joking. It was like if Progressive Victory was funded by Hamas or something. Like
Basically, kind of, yeah. And was passing a ton of money to influencers to do videos and to build,
how do you kind of vet that process when you're doing your stuff with them?
Well, Progressive Victory has never paid me, so there's nothing for me to bet. Yeah,
they
everybody
just set
seems
up like the debates and stuff?
have they even set up debates for me?
They do campaigns or something.
I thought
right?
like the Cenk Uyghur thing was with them. I might be wrong.
I think that's modern day debate.
Wait. No. They did set up an event that I was able to go to with the No, they have set up events and stuff before, but they've never paid me before, so I've never had to think about that.
Every time I think of them, I think about Xander Hall. Did you see those DMs?
Oh, which ones?
The ones where he was screaming like "Cherry, cherry, cherry! I'm going to be homeless because of you." Progressive Victory hasn't paid me.
Pretty insane.
Those were awesome. Back to the Tim thing. As far as Tim Pool, his output on YouTube and his like sort of influence is super insane. And I have noticed that there's been some like I've seen clips of him talking about how like Ukraine is our enemy and stuff like that. And I'm very curious, like I guess as time goes on, as this indictment goes through, if there will be any reveal at all of any direct communication. Or maybe it was just kind of understood. Maybe he had some call with Lauren that wasn't recorded or something. It was kind of understood, like you take this money, and as a result, you kind of have to, give these sort of talking points. But right now, I mean, there's just no, as far as like Tim and stuff and people like him, there's like no confirmation. And I was also thinking like, as far as the actual audience impact, I feel like if my audience found out that I was taking like a crazy amount of money for any side from any country, from any I guess I do drama content. Let's say like OTK started paying me $100,000 a month, and all of a sudden I start talking up OTK. I feel like that would like ruin my credibility, right? But for someone like Tim, I really wonder if this is gonna have any impact at all on his brand, on his
because
like,
their average viewers
trust.
wouldn't give a shit. The average
conservatives
viewer
have
wouldn't
no
care.
standards for behavior. They can do basically anything. I'm not exaggerating. There is no standard for behavior, so no, I don't think it'll have much of an impact on him with his core viewer base. There might be people at the edges that are lost, and it might be an attack that people use. Like if I'm ever going on to anything with anybody related to Tim Pool, you better believe. Like I think I have a Piers Morgan show. I think I'm doing on Monday, and if anybody related to this is on, I'm going to be going in on that the entire time because that's wild. But for their own like core audience and the people in their orbit, they're not going to bring it up. They'll just be chill. Like Tim literally has people that work for RT like on his show pretty frequently. So
Right. The amount of money though, I just can't get over it. $100,000 per podcast,
per video, non-exclusive, just like stuff that was cut from his own channel and then thrown up onto that.
Per video.
It was in one video per week. So he made a little over I think $5 million for his year's worth of work. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can play stupid with that, but like,
no, you can't.
I mean,
like maybe to the public you can, but like,
is what I mean. It's like you could try to play stupid, but you kind of have to know that this company's just dumping a shitload of money into
Absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Imagine you get pulled over by a cop and you're in court and you're like trying to argue, and somebody's like, "Okay, so you didn't know the cocaine was in the trunk." You're like, "Well, no, my friend just wanted me to deliver something to a friend, and he gave you money for gas." Yeah. How much money did he give you for gas? $3,000. Like you didn't think for a second that well, I don't know. Like, no, that's retarded. There's so much money. He must know that some stupid shit is happening. Like, there's just no way that he does.
The most charitable explanation is that he has Down syndrome, unironically. Like,
no, but that's
like
always the most charitable. It's like, okay, they're either malicious or they're retarded. That's like the main game of YouTube. And for the most part, I think usually they're stupid. In this case, no. You have to be malicious.
I think
Right.
absolutely.
There's no way all of these content creators got caught in the same web.
And then even Tim going on
Even
a show afterwards, and
coincidentally,
Tim was saying that that's actually a low rate for him. I'm like, really, bro? For non-exclusive content, no CTAs, no ads, no anything? Bullshit. You're lying so much. Yeah,
I thought the whole thing was that conservatives can't get ads.
true.
What is the coffee brand coffee paying?
Black Rifle Coffee, yeah. And then the fact that he's like trying to say that everything about it is just so stupid. Like, you have to, he would know. You absolutely know.
Interesting. As far as Lauren Chen.
Oh, wait. Also, I just want to say one
thing.
thing to that real quickly as well, for the kind of like this under the hood intent as well. The fact that he's getting offered that, and he absolutely knows, okay? He knows that money's coming from no good of a place. He must know, right? To say that that's not going to influence his ordinary content at all is ridiculous, right? If Progressive Victory was paying me $50,000 a month and then I go on stream and there's some progressive candidate that's running for office against some like establishment Dem, you don't think I'm going to have that in the back of my mind? Like, I'm about to blow up this candidate. Is this going to hurt my other deal? Like, absolutely. Tim is going to be thinking about this constantly. You're getting $400,000 a month? Of course you are.
Yeah, you hear arguments from that when people get like, I was watching like Marquez Brownlee. He was doing a thing with Tesla a couple of years ago, and they don't get paid to do it. They get like the opportunity to post the video with the car early. So some of the people who got that opportunity were like, oh, well, I didn't get paid to give this review, but like obviously you're compromised because you have the ability to make this content sooner than everyone else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't apply to Tim. He got $100,000. Yeah.
As far as Lauren, she's Canadian, right? Is the Canadian government coming after her, or is it still the U.S. government? Is there going to be like extradition? How does that work?
Technically, there hasn't even been an unsealed, or no indictments have been unsealed or revealed yet for Lauren Chen or her husband. So we don't know, but we'll see.
Okay. I did see people on Twitter talking about her YouTube channel going down. Was that her doing, or was that YouTube's termination? Do we have any?
I don't think we know.
I don't think
yet.
they show anymore. They used to tell you directly on the page. Now it just goes, channel's gone. But you have to assume, I don't know, with Tenet Media, do you think they took it down themselves?
But the thing is, like, if YouTube did delete Lauren, why would they not delete everyone else there?
Right?
Because Lauren
like
is directly implicated.
Yeah.
Like in the indictment for the Russians, they directly show a criminal intent from, they say that Founder 1 and Founder 2 worked with the two Russian indicted members to deceive the 6 commenters. So...
Gotcha. How do you feel about them deleting her channel without any like trial happening yet or anything like that?
I have no clue what any of that is. I don't know. Like, I don't know who deleted it or why it was deleted, so I wouldn't comment, yeah.
If, let's say she was terminated by YouTube, how would you feel about that?
I don't know. Hold on. People are saying there was an article that was published. YouTube takes down right-wing channels linked to DOJ Russian indictments. YouTube terminated Tenet Media and other channels were run by Lauren Chen, conservative influencer linked to allegations that Russia paid for right-wing content.
Did this outlet reach out to YouTube for comment? Like, who is this?
Not
Is
sure.
this like a reputable person?
Well, I mean, it's the Washington Post. I assume so, but let's.
Oh, okay. Washington Post. Okay. Yeah. I was just asking if it was like,
the fake,
Poop
the lamestream
Tartar
media
Jokers website. Yeah, exactly. Washington Post. All right. I would generally
trust that. You have to assume that maybe they hit the people who are directly implicated, but they're going to wait and see how it goes before they start hitting people like Tim.
Well, we don't know if they would. We don't know if they would ever do that, right? Because we don't have any wrongdoing proof of them that was alleged, at least in the indictments, right?
Yeah, I just figured like if they're gonna take like immediate action, it would be on like the most guilty party.
Sure.
Maybe there's no legal wrongdoing. Maybe legally there's plausible deniability. But in my opinion, there's no way he didn't know. There's just no way. He had to have known. Like, especially Lauren Chen comes to you and she's like, oh God, this business deal. It's like, okay, how did Lauren Chen of all people get this business deal? Yeah. She's not that famous. She doesn't make that much money. She's not that relevant. I mean, I guess she's on the Blaze, but I don't think she's pulling in like the most insane major numbers there. And then she's like, hey, this businessman, what was it? Gregorian or something?
Something, Eduardo Gregorian or something. Yeah.
Literally, like, why are all these fake people? Like, who's that other guy? Egon Shalakian?
Oh, Aegon.
Is that the other fake guy? Why do they all have these Armenian names? What's going on? the Armenians are having some interesting influence right now. But even beyond that, like just realistically speaking, Tim Pool in the position he's in should not be unquestioningly taking $100,000 per
Video.
It wasn't even a sponsorship, right? It wasn't even a unique video. They just clipped his stuff.
Correct.
That is insane.
Yep.
Like it's beyond the pale of reasonable doubt, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Nick, what else do you want to talk about?
I'm trying to see, where was the Jeremy tweet I was looking at? I've been just laughing hysterically at this thing. It's like, they're some of the hardest working employees. As expected, they've disbanded and stuff.
There was an old Jeremy tweet where he was actually tweeting about, I saw it in some article about Tenet Media. He was like, who the f is funding this? Even he was sussed out. Did you see that?
No way.
So
I swear to
here's
God.
something I will say, and you guys are probably more connected to these people now than I am. There are definitely offers from RT and RT subsidiaries that are made to a lot of right-wing content creators, some American and some not American, that a lot of people in the right-wing scene know about, but they will never, ever, ever go public with it. But it's, if you have people there, I don't know what your relationship is like with Jeremy, but yeah, you should poke him and talk to him about that. But this is I think it's a pretty well-known thing for that group of people.
Here's this quartering tweet. I'll message this to you, Destiny, so you can pull this up. He didn't get a lot of attention at the time, but one article by, let's see, what is this website I found this on? Daily Dot. They picked this up. They said, like, who is funding this?
Yeah, smiley face.
With a smiley face. Is this like implying that he knows who's funding it, or he's genuinely questioning? Like,
It
what's
wouldn't
going on
surprise me if he's heard weird things about this.
Huh.
Because if he's close enough to anybody to know any of the contract amounts, then you know it's bullshit. You immediately know that it's insane. If you know if you know at least what Tim Pool and Dave Rubin are getting paid, and maybe Benny Johnson. He's always listed in the top 3, but I don't know what.
Normally, I'd say there's no way someone would make a comment like that implying they know where the money's coming from and then say that Lauren Chen is innocent until proven guilty. But it's Jeremy, and he just lies for money all the time now.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah, Jeremy's the doc defender. Speaking of doc, did you guys see his new response?
Yep.
Oh God.
I haven't seen it all yet. What was your thoughts, Nick? I saw your one clip where he was like,
where nobody wants these logs to leak. Twitch doesn't want them to leak. Slasher's never even seen them. Fucking Doc doesn't want them to leak. I don't know. It's exactly what we expected it to be. He just popped in, denied it, knew that Twitch won't post logs, and he's going to run off with the 100,000 viewers who are going to keep watching him.
Wait, what do you mean denied it?
He basically said, I didn't do anything illegal. He kind of walked back parts of his statement. At one point, he implied that the minor was an adult. I don't know.
Well,
like,
wait. This is specifically what he said, and this is almost certainly. So now we almost certainly know what's happened. So he said that legally it didn't qualify as sexual child sexual assault material or something, right? And he said it wasn't sexting. Right. So, and he said there were no pictures traded or an exact or explicit time to meet up. And then he said specifically that they didn't even check and see what the age of consent was of the girl in the jurisdiction. So it sounds like what happens is it was a 16 to 17-year-old girl, because he doesn't say that it wasn't a minor. He says that he mentions the age of consent in the relevant jurisdiction. So it was probably a 16 to 17-year-old. They probably exchanged messages where he was using inappropriate jokes or language or whatever, but it didn't reach the threshold of sexting. And there was probably no explicit like time and place set to meet. And there was probably no trading of nudes or videos or anything like that. That's what it sounds like.
But jurisdiction, wouldn't that default to federal? Because isn't it where he is? He's California, right? That's 18. So he obviously is implying the minor, like their location.
I think that when it comes to arguing venue for crimes like that, I think for internet stuff, I think that's kind of complicated. Like, I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all answer. Like, if you're sexting with somebody in an age of consent state of 16 and you're 18 and they're in a state where it's 16 and your state is 18, like, I think you can argue for venue there. I don't know if it's like, if it's easily
So to be
decided.
clear, when he says there's no specific time to meet up, it could have been like, haha, yeah, maybe we can hang out sometime, but they never specifically made a plan, something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
When he's talking about age of consent, I mean, yes, 16 or 17 could be the age. Or, I mean, the thing is, it like could be lower. We don't know anything about the victim. We don't know anything about who this person is.
Theoretically, it could be, is it France is 14 or Japan or something?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, theoretically, that's possible, sure.
Yeah. Could be talking to someone in the, I don't know, Dominican Republic, the Philippines, Brazil, who knows? What was his audience's response to that in chat? What were people saying?
The audience was the only people who were subscribed to the channel for 13 months. So they had to be there for over a year to even engage in chat. I saw like 4 or 5 messages that were talking about like the allegations, but most of it was like legendary. Doc is back. Here we go. He's going to retain a big percentage of his audience.
Yeah, I see his stream right now. He's not even talking about allegations anymore, and he's holding 83,000 viewers live concurrently. So
Sure, but
like
I mean,
it is his first stream back.
Yeah, it's his first stream back, so who knows what it'll look like after, yeah.
I don't know what his
but still.
monetization model is yet because he's demonetized too.
The thing is,
He said
even if
they
he-
can reapply for monetization at the end of September.
That would
Yeah.
be crazy if he gets that back.
I'm gonna check his chat because he was getting donuts. He still has Streamlabs up. He's still getting money from that.
Yeah.
He still, oh my god, dude, I still reads my new AAA game studio, Midnight Society. That's dark.
Well, he's still with Midnight Society. He said, like, because of you, Cody, because of you, people had to get laid off. They lost their jobs, Cody.
Wait, is he back?
Well, why would he be talking about how there were layoffs at the company if he's not there?
Well, maybe he heard from somebody who works there, but he's still not officially a part of
Isn't
it.
he
right?
the only guy at Midnight Society? Like, is there any other?
Didn't they
talent
public?
there?
Was it a different game studio? I was thinking that dropped him publicly, so they wouldn't work with him
I think
anymore.
they brought him back. I don't know.
Maybe. Damn. All right.
We also
Swag.
don't know
All right.
technically how he was dropped. Like, he could have dropped and cut all ties, or they could have just like kicked him off as CEO, but he still retains his ownership. Like, we don't actually know the details of that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of expected this. I think Willie said much the same. I don't know. Do you think that Twitch could have handled this better? I don't know what camp you're in, Destiny.
Well, Twitch, technically, this is like ex-Twitch employees, right?
Well, yeah, I guess as an organization,
When it was
what
happening.
they actually did, do you think that they should have, I guess, given some kind of a ban reason a bit more specifically than just...
It's hard to know because we don't know why he was actually banned, right? So it's hard to say. I do think it's
Yeah.
really weird that you would terminate like A-tier talent with probably one of the largest contracts you've ever written for your company without a word to anybody, because Twitch has never made any official public statement about his ban ever, right?
Well, except for when the CEO was on Mizkif's stream joking about
So
it.
yeah, but that's the CEO. So Twitch has never. So that's just that's weird. Then I don't know why that just seems really strange to me. But
I feel like some kind of statement should have been made. At the very
I
least
kind of
about
get why
him
they
being
can't drop like legit logs, even if
I
they're
feel like
just
at least
docs
getting
messages.
at least getting some kind of credible source that isn't Cody Connors to be
Well,
publicly
they
with
did
their
that.
full
They
name.
did the
Okay,
article, and the article's referencing
yeah,
who
but-
currently works there, right?
when I say credible source, I mean someone that we can like know exists and is a person. I know
That's
obviously.
the problem with a
I'm
lot
not-
of the Mr. Beast allegations. A lot of them are tied to anonymous person A,
Yeah,
anonymous person B.
and I'm not saying anonymous sources are totally unreliable, but I think that to the general public, having someone at least willing to go on the record with their name, and say what happened, I think would be really good. But,
Oh no, I agree with you. I'm tired of Rod going around. You should trust journalists. You should trust journalists. Okay, well this guy's gonna make $1 million in the next couple weeks, so
Yeah.
I
New
trust
Lambo.
him. Thanks. New Lambo
I don't
just
think
dropped.
any journalist is making anywhere near that much money on on any
No,
of these
not
sources.
Slasher. I'm saying Doc.
Oh.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, like Doc's fine. He's
Yeah.
he has the ability to come back because he's not going to get tested on it.
Maybe,
I still
yeah.
can't believe that his entire comeback, because he has high production stuff when he comes back, right? I can't believe his comeback was him going to an island. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that.
Sounds like you're a hater.
If it sounds like I'm a hater.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I just don't respect the Epstein swag. It's not my thing.